Good morning, Year 4. In this video, we are going to be doing daily digits and multiplications part 2. So for our daily digits, we're going to be looking at 4 questions on this week's current topic, which is statistics, and that corresponds with week 8 of your home learning pack, as well as topics that we've covered earlier on in this year. And for multiplications, we're going to be looking at our multiplications for this week, which is the 12 times tables, as well as having a go at our times table test, which is 25 questions, 6 seconds for each question. So let's grab a pencil, grab some paper and have a go. Daily digits, number 1. How many fish are owned? So there's a bar chart next to this question titled Pets Owned by Class 4. Use that to help you answer the first question. Number 2, how many minutes are in 3 hours? Number 3, multiply 80 by 9. And number 4, how many more chocolate eggs were sold in April than February? And for this last question, have a look at the line graph next to it titled Sales of Chocolate Eggs. Those two go together. So press pause or rewind to have a listen to the questions again, answer them, and then press play when you're ready for the answers. Okie dokes, first answer. How many fish are owned in this bar chart here? So what I'm going to do is look for the bar that represents fish. So at the bottom, the x-axis labeled type of pets. It gives us 3 different animals, cats, dogs, and fish. And we're going to look at the green one. And right where it ends, right where that bar ends, I'm going to follow along to the y-axis, which gives us our scale. And the scale is titled number. And the top of the fish ends right in between 6 and 8, which is 7. So if you've got 7 fish, fantastic. Number 2, how many minutes are in 3 hours? So because we are in year 4, we should know that 1 hour is made up of 60 minutes. So to find 3 hours, we would need to do 60 multiplied by 3. And a good trick to help working out these sort of questions is using your derived facts. So if I know that 6 multiplied by 3 is 18, then 60, which is 10 times bigger, multiplied by 3 would be 180 minutes. Number 3, multiply 80 by 9. Again, you can use your derived facts. So 8 multiplied by 9 is 72. That means 80, which is 10 times bigger, multiplied by 9 is 720. And the last one, how many more chocolate eggs were sold in April than February? So because this question uses language like how many more, and it compares 2 different months, so April than February, that means the operation we need to use is subtraction. And before I subtract, I need to find out how many chocolate eggs were sold in those 2 months. So I'm going to look over again at our line graph here. I'm going to look at the months, which is the x-axis at the bottom, and find April. So April, follow along to the little x and move along to the y-axis, which gives us our scale, and it tells us how many of those chocolate eggs were sold. In April, there were 60 eggs sold. And then do the same thing for February. So find February, go up to the x and follow that x to the y-axis. And it says that in February, there were 30 chocolate eggs sold. So 60 subtract 30 makes 30 chocolates. If you got that all 4 correct, fantastic. Okie dokes. So now our times table focus for this week, which is the 12 times tables. At the top, you've got 3 12 times tables pinwheels. And the last pinwheel is a little chilly one because some of them are missing parts. There are some missing parts. You need to multiply the innermost pinwheel, the innermost circle, with the numbers outside them and put the answer on the outside. So for example, 12 multiplied by 8 equals, and the answer goes there. And then underneath them, you've got 3 problems to solve. That's another chilly challenge. I'm going to read through them, and then I want you to have a go. So A, I make 3 batches of 12 cookies. How many cookies is this all together? Okay. B, a florist is selling bunches of 12 roses. She sells 6 bunches. How many roses is this? And C, eggs cost £3 for a dozen. If I spend £15 on eggs, how many eggs have I bought in total? Okay, so press pause, have a go, and then press play when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so I'm going to put the answers on now. Have a go, check in through your work. And I'm just going to explain through those 3 problems at the bottom. So see how much you got, see how well you did. For A, because it says 3 batches of 12 cookies, that meant that the answer would be 3 multiplied by 12, 3 lots of 12 cookies, which makes 34. For B, it says a florist is selling bunches of 12 roses and she sells 6 bunches. So again, that's 6 lots of 12 roses. So 6 bunches of 12, or 12 times 6, which equals 72. So 12 multiplied by 6. And C, eggs cost £3 for a dozen. So this one's a little bit trickier. £3 for a dozen, and a dozen means 12. We usually use it when we talk about things like eggs. If we buy a dozen eggs, it means we have 12 eggs. So £3 for 12. And if I spend £15 on eggs, how many have I bought in total? So from £3 to £15, that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's 5 times the amount. What I need to do is do 5 multiplied by 12, because I'm doing 5, I'm spending £15, and that would give us 60. If you got all of that correct, amazing. Multiplication wizards. Okie doke, so now it's time for our times table test. Again, you will have 6 seconds per question. Give it your best shot, that's all that you can count on. And again, if you want to go back and have another go, you can do. Okay, so get ready. First question coming up. 6 multiplied by 3. 3 multiplied by 8. 12 multiplied by 6. 6 multiplied by 4. 11 multiplied by 3. 7 multiplied by 2. 11 multiplied by 5. 7 multiplied by 12. 2 multiplied by 6. 5 multiplied by 5. 4 multiplied by 7. 8 multiplied by 12. 7 multiplied by 6. 10 multiplied by 7. 6 multiplied by 8. 4 multiplied by 11. 12 multiplied by 4. 3 multiplied by 9. 7 multiplied by 7. 12 multiplied by 12. 5 multiplied by 8. 11 multiplied by 11. 8 multiplied by 7. 9 multiplied by 12. 3 multiplied by 3. And now it's time for our answers. So let's grab another pencil, or use the same pencil that you have, and let's have a check of, let's mark through and see how well you did. So here are your answers. And again, at the bottom, I've put a little link to our school, to our year 4 email. So that's for me to see, for Miss Rayburn to see, and for Miss Calancy to see, and to share your top scores out of 25 to us. So year 4 at webster.manchester.sch.uk. So check through your answers. Okay. And again, I've got some more links. I've put links to a times table check, the first one, and that's again 25 questions randomly generated, so you can keep practicing ready for next week's challenge. You've got some more top marks, so lots of games that you can play, as well as I found a new times table gaming app, so lots of different times table games on that website at the bottom to have a go at, keep practicing. Okie dokes. Well done.